In this video, we're going to take this and turn it into breakfast potatoes that look like this. And we're going to do it like a boss. Hi again, it's Sunday morning and I'm going to show us how to make breakfast potatoes with bell pepper, white onion, a little parsley, and red potatoes that I boiled the night before. The thing you want to remember when you are dicing up your potatoes is you want to be uniform in the size as best as you can. All right, so I'll give you an idea. I'm not going to go through the whole thing here. Well, actually, I probably should. Slice it in half, slice it in half again, and then in thirds, which is slightly larger than the other potato I did. So you can get an idea, just roughly you want it about the same size, right? The pieces. And the reason you're doing that is so that they can cook evenly. And last one. And all you want to do is double check just to make sure it's about the right size. I got a couple small ones here, would be nice and charred. But that's the basic idea, right? There's our taters. Then I'm going to, now what I do, or this household does, is we always have a supply of white onion. I'm kind of getting low. So we dice up onion and it's always there available to use. When you do that, in another video I'll show you how to, everyone and their mother has a video on how to dice an onion. But I guess I'll toss my hat in there too. But this way you always have a supply of onion whenever you're cooking. The caveat is you only really want to save, you only want to cut up what you can use in a week. After about 5 days or so, 5 to 7 days, these have reached their shelf limit. All right, now let's. This is how I do a bell pepper. There are several different ways. I take the top off, crack the membrane here and here, and most of the seeds come out that way. Now the cap, the surrounding meat around the cap can be used. And here's how you break that off. I'm not sure if you can see it. Seedless. Again, these are just rough cut. So they're roughly the same size. And this is a breakfast potato, so they're going to be a little larger. If it was a dinner potato, I'd dice these up a little smaller. And then the last thing, and I'm not going to use these, but I'll save them for later. And then the last thing we're going to do is a little bit of parsley. You could also use, now the reason you're doing that also is for color. But you can also do cilantro, which is what I like to use, or green onion, which is also what I like to use. But this morning we have neither. All right, so that that is the prep. Now, like a good puppy, we should have had some heat up, which we do. Now we're going to take this all to the stove top and put it together. Okay, here we are at the heat. I am going to use two different kinds of fat. One is bacon fat. Which adds a lovely flavor, obviously. And, oh geez, and a little bit of butter. And if you've seen previous videos, you know what my definition of a little bit of butter is. Again, don't judge me. So here's the order. We cook the potatoes first, get a nice caramelization going, and then we toss in the bell pepper, and last the onion, because the onion is going to be the most delicate. It will cook the quickest, so you put it in last. Now I'm going to turn up the heat to, again, it does not have to be on high. But as you can see this start to sheen, this is when you're ready now. The other thing I'm going to suggest or remind you of is not to overload your pan, which I am notorious for doing. And I can't do it with this much, so I'm safe. Quickly toss it in the, so they all get coated in the fat. And then my OCD kicks in, and I want to see less white flesh, right? The whole idea is to kind of put a char on this. So while they start, I am going to flip them over, as you can see. Now this is not a necessary step. It's only necessary in my house because I can't help it. Now what you really want to do is put the potatoes in here and walk the heck away and stop messing with them, which is what I'm going to do right now. See, that's kind of what we're looking for. Yeah, that is what we're looking for. So they're coming along just fine. So with the first flip, now we're going to add the aromatics. And goes the bell pepper. And I actually should have flipped it with the bell pepper in it, so it gets coated. But when you're on camera, you're not always thinking straight. This is not easy. Doing all this in front of you. It's not easy. Thank you. Now's the time to season it. You guys, that was a little bit funny. And then I like to use mignonette pepper. That's it, right? First try. It's a blend of coriander and coarsely ground pepper. Yumbo. And it's really strong, so you don't need a lot. Of course, any pepper will do. Freshly ground is better. Sorry for the buzz. You have a choice, either the buzz of the hood or the food timer of the smoke alarm. And that's how hard it is. It's really just the time. Had I thought this episode out a little bit better, I would have actually cooked the whole breakfast and just focused on the eggs. Maybe I'll do that next time. But this is a learning process for me. Ooh, this is smelling good. Now I turn the flame off. I'm going to let them cook there for a little bit in the pan, and we'll show you the end result. And that is all there really is to it. Just parsley. And this is what it looks like. I hope that this has been helpful. And as usual, thanks for watching.